back to Stitching in the Pines for episode number 2. I'm going to try to keep this under 30 minutes, so let's just jump in there, and I'm going to try not to get real chatty. So first of all, let's talk about this. This is the Boxy Sweater from Joji Locatelli, my favorite sweater, and also it's also souvenir yarn that I bought in Australia when I was visiting my brother, and yeah, and so I knit this Boxy, and it's my absolute favorite. I travel in it. I throw it on in the morning if it's a little chilly. I wear it all the time. I'm gonna wear it out, and I don't want to wear it out because it's my favorite. Maybe I should just start another Boxy right now. This is my second Boxy. I'd like to reuse the patterns, and there's certain designers that just really, they're spot on. I like to use their patterns. They're easy to knit, they're easy to follow, and Joji is one of those. So I have one of her sweaters on today. I'm gonna try to get on here and show some older sweaters that I've knit eventually. And I have some older things to show, but I'm only if I have some time to kill, you know, so I don't want to go over. But if you watched episode 1, you will see that one of my fails, I was calling it a fail because my frog had horrible cat eyes on, and I decided I didn't like the cat eyes, and I bought new eyes, and I couldn't get the old eyes off. I'm here to tell you those child safety eyes work, because I couldn't get them off. I had pliers, I cut them, I just couldn't get in. Well, I was trying not to damage my frog too, but finally I tried to podcast on Monday. So after I did that, I went out with the hammer and smashed his eyes. He was already stuffed, so I put a rubber band around his neck, and I went out and I smashed his eyes. I had the top of his head open too, so I could get into there. But anyway, so he's no longer a fail. He's not the best. He's not exactly the way the pattern was written. They wanted you to knit the eyes, and I didn't think I could do it. So anyway, so now he's getting clothes, and I have knit some pants, working on the pants. It looks like bell bottoms, but that's okay. I'm an old hippie. Yeah, so working on the pants, and then he'll get a coat. So, and I'm knitting this out of a Galway, it's a Plymouth Galway yarn. And it's 100% wool, and I love the yarn. It's a good wool. Anyway, so there's my frog. He's no longer a fail. He's not beautiful, but the frog and toad. So if you want to see what I'm talking about, there are some videos on YouTube showing you how to kind of knit the frog and toad. It was a little fiddly, but it wasn't too bad. Okay, another thing I showed last month was my ukulele strap. Now it's done with Tunisian crochet, and I used some yarn that I had hoarded back from somewhere. I think it was a Lion brand Landscapes or something like that. But anyway, it was stretchy, so I was like, I got to do something for the back so it's not stretchy anymore. So yesterday, after yesterday's fail at a podcast, I painted the back with Mod Podge, because that's the only thing I really had. Yes, it did make it stiffer. It's not stretching. But it's scratchy. So when you're wearing it, I mean, if you got clothes on, I guess it's all right. So I still don't know. We're going to try it though. We're going to put it on the ukulele maybe later. See how that works. But anyway, I'm super happy that turned out. this end goes on the pin that's on the end of your ukulele, the body, and then this ties to the bridge of the, oops, I need to trim a string, and this just ties to the bridge, so, or the fretboard, or whatever you want to call it. Okay, now another thing I talked about was, I think the thing about making podcasts is it makes you finish things or work on things. So I feel like that's what I did. So last time I talked about my holy sock, and I know I had seen some ways to fix your socks, and so I tried the Fish Lips Kiss heel. So I picked up, well, that's what most of my heels are. So with double pointed needles, I picked up all 32 stitches across here, and there's a lot of boo-boos, and it's ugly. I guess this is where I picked up the stitches on this side, because this is the Kitchener stitch over here, which it didn't look too great in some places. But anyway, here's so I picked up these stitches, knit the entire heel, the Fish Lips Kiss heel, and then I Kitchener stitched to the other side. So I picked up 32 stitches here and 32 stitches here, knit the Fish Lips Kiss heel. Voila, voila. So it's not beautiful, but I wanted to make sure I used a yarn that was stronger. A lot of my these aren't, but a lot of my socks are knit with Malabrigo sock, and it hasn't held up. My Malabrigo sock yarn has not healed. It has not worn well. So there's that. Let's see. Another finished. Okay, well, here, I wasn't gonna show old projects, but I guess I will, because I'm just blah, 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 blah. So let me put my glasses on so I can see there we go. This is a crochet basket, Brianna K. If you're a crocheter, even if you're not a crocheter, just a part-time crocheter, which I am, you need to follow her, because she'll make some stuff that makes you want to crochet. So this is a basket. It is a paid pattern, but on YouTube, she will walk you through this, which I did. I didn't do the handles perfectly, but who cares? My husband he wants to use this basket on the table next to him so he can put his glasses and stuff in there. I don't know. He doesn't really need a basket, but there it is. It's just going to end up with Kleenex in it and who knows what else. Toothpicks, I don't know. Another thing Brianna K did. Okay. Oh, I was going to say this. She's calling this the wheat stitch, which is just a puff stitch. Not all of my wheat stitches look great, but there's a good one right there. But it's fun to do, but hard on my hands. So there's that. So it took me a while to make it because I had to rest my hands a lot. And I've been using this Color Theory a lot. That's what I'm making my granddaughter a bunny out of, which I'll talk about next. And this, and I doubled. This is really supposed to be made out of, see, it doesn't hold its shape. It's not very, so I need some thicker yarn, I guess. Maybe that will hold its shape better. But anyway, Brianna K, give her a follow. She does great things. Another thing from Brianna, here's another puff stitch that she used around a coaster, which I made several of, and I love it. It's pretty. So, coaster. Which also a YouTube video on how to do this. Okay, and then as promised, I said I would talk about the bunny. And I didn't bring my iPad in here to show you the bunny pattern, but it's just called a little bunny. I'll put it in the description down below what it is. I'll look it up later. But anyway, this is the body I'm working on. So you can see it's going to be a real small bunny. And here's his little feet and legs. So he's moving along real slow. Got started and then I took a break and then I got started again. I love knitting. I don't know why. I used to love, before I started knitting circularly, I love knitting with double pointed needles. My hands, not that small. All my projects are on size 1. Size 1. Size 1. And also my sock is size 1, double pointed needles. And so my hands are getting pretty cramped if I knit too long on those. So another finished thing from last month is my sock. I've been using, I always forget her name. Her coffee pattern. I call it a coffee pattern. Maybe this says who it's by. I don't always print out everything. Deb Buckingham from Knit On Designs. That's who writes it. With this particular pattern, she had three patterns in one. And they're the coffee series. So she did morning coffee socks, but first coffee, and then coffee break socks. So they each had a different pattern on the leg and on the top of the foot, but these I didn't. I'm just using the pattern to do the heel turn. So sometimes I just want to do something a little different. So I did cuff down, heel turn. So I thought this was a fun sock with sparkles. I like it a lot. And then, when you finish the sock, and sock knitters probably know this, when you finish a sock, you put it on your foot while you cast on with a second sock. So that's what you do. At least that's what I do. I have to put it on right away and then cast on for the second sock immediately. And when let's see, I was trying to remember I never remember the name of this yarn. What did I do with it? I'm not even seeing there the label is, clear at the bottom. This is West Yorkshire Spinners Signature Sparkle. I know it's backwards. The color number is Silent Night. And it is made in England. And I guess you can get some at wyspinners.com. And yeah, it's 437 yards, so it's a pretty good yardage for socks. What I always do is, because it came in a skein, and so I wound it into 2 equal balls. This is what's left over from the first sock, and of course I've just got started on the second sock. But usually I knit socks toe up. That way you get all, the important thing is getting it to fit your foot. And then however much yarn, you'll see what what your yarn allowance is for the leg. So you can just do the leg until you're almost out. Or I have plenty of projects using scrap yarn, like the memory blanket. Yeah, so anyway, and now I have a sweater. It's just scrap yarn. But anyway, there's that. My sock. And I will probably take it on. We're going on a trip this weekend, a little road trip to western Kansas, and I'll probably take that because I'm just at the portion I can just knit, not without looking at anything to know what to do. So speaking of which, my sweater, my scrappy sweater that I talked about last time. See how much I'm getting done just because I mentioned it? It's like, okay, you'll want something to talk about, so let's yeah, we better start it and work on it and whatever. So I started a scrappy sweater. I'm using Andrew Mowry's So Faded sweater pattern. It's a very plain Jane sweater. Kind of like it because it's different, because the tops, right here, well, this one has it too, garter stitch instead of just a stockinette stitch. So the top of that is garter stitch, which gives it a little bit different look. Anyway, I started out I gathered some yarn, and I have quite a bit of this alpaca left, so I used it for the top, and then now I'm using scraps. Well, my scraps are big. I mean, here's a scrap. I mean, it's practically a whole skein. And, and I could just go forever with that. I mean, they're pretty big. This is an entire skein. I rolled it up for something, and I don't think I ripped it out. I just haven't used it. I don't know what my plan was for it in the beginning. But anyway, now that I've started it, and I feel like I worked on it a whole month just to get it to the point where I could divide the sleeves. And I'm already fed up. Is that the right word I want? Because when you're changing yarns all the time, then what do you have? You have all these ends you need to work in. And I have to work them in. I can't leave them loose. I know some people just leave them loose. But you know what? If that's, hitting you in your chest area or your stomach, that yarn's going to tickle. So I got to work them in. So now I'm second guessing why I wanted to do this. Because now I can't just sit and knit like in the car. Because I have to change yarns all the time. I don't want to anymore. I'm over it. I'm over it. I would just rather start knitting with a color and just go till the color's out and then change yarns. I might like that better. So whether or not this is a failure, I don't know yet. I'm thinking about it. It just took me so long to make it. I mean, a whole month. This is the only thing I worked on for a whole month. I mean, I did work on other things, but clearly because I got some things done. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to continue it. So there's that. Okay, another thing I talked about last month was the Parker throw I was working on. Well, I bought the yarn at Joann's, and now Joann's is closing. And knowing that, I mean, it wasn't anything I needed to have the same, those yarns that are that the big box stores sell. Oh, I couldn't reach my bag. This is the Respun, and it doesn't have a dye lot. Maybe it does, but it's like the paint store at Walmart. I mean, is it? No, they are mixing their own. I don't know where I was going to go with that, because now I'm like, nope, that doesn't make sense, because they do mix their own yarn. But they haven't, you know, it's not like hand-dyed. Hand-dyed stuff, there may be some variations in it, because it's handmade, and what's perfect in handmade? Hardly anything. And I'm not that perfect person who strives for perfection. I just like the act of doing it. Keeps me calm. But anyway, I bought this respun and 2 skeins of it. Well, I bought one and then I ran out, so I ran Joann's, got another skein. And I don't work on it that often. And for one thing, I cast on too many stitches and it was so wide. I mean, getting through, and then you had to do a 4-row repeat on the pattern because it's kind of like a basket weave pattern. And it was going so slow. I'm like, I'm never going to finish this. And then I found out Joann's was going to go out of business. Then I thought, well, I better go stock up on this yarn. And I went there and they were totally out. They weren't restocking anything. So I went home and I ordered online 4 more skeins of this yarn. And that probably wasn't going to be enough, but anyway. So a week went by and in my email, they sent me like my invoice and it was zeroed out. And in my brain, I thought they canceled my order. So I didn't have to think too hard on it. I'm like, I'm just going to rip it out. So I did. I ripped it all out. I've got 2 whole skeins of my balls. So what I decided to do is knit charity hats. So that's what I'm going to do with all that extra yarn. I guess. Charity hats, scarves. I'd like to start some kind of Chase the Chill project here. Where I'm from in Winfield, Kansas, we did a Chase the Chill, and we would tie scarves and hats and with clothespins on the trees. They had Winfield has a nice, you know, tree, you know, in the parking areas downtown. And so we would clip them to the trees, and then we'd tie the scarves around the light posts and the tree trunks and whatnot. So that was something we did every, excuse me, usually early December. And then just put little tags on them saying, you know, if you just want a hat or need a hat, whatever. So anyway, so I've started the antler hat right here. I've been wanting to make some of those. A lot of times I'll just make hats and put them in a box, and at Christmas time, you know, the grandkids are starting to get married. My grandkids are they're all adults now. I actually have 2 great grandkids right now, and so my grandkids are older, but their husbands, the ones that are getting married so far, and they'll take some hats. They'll take a hat or 2 or whatever every year. They'll take a hat, or you know, if it's something. Anyway, yeah, the antler hat, and this is a tin can knits pattern, which is free. So I like her patterns too. And I like it when designers offer free patterns for people like me who are now on SS. And yeah, I mean, I have to be careful where my money goes now. So anyway, but you can see I do have some stash. I'm using it up little bit by little bit. Yeah, so there's that. Well, I got a little bit of time left. Let's see if there's anything. Let's see. Oh, my sourdough. Let's talk about my sourdough real quick. My sourdough, I have tried at least three times with a fail. I have failed 3 times. And every time I say, I'm done with sourdough. And I run across another recipe and I thought, oh, I'm going to try this one. So I tried it, and supposedly it was going to be done in 5 days instead of like 10. I'm like, okay. So, and it just is flour and water, and then you leave it out on the counter, and it ferments and makes its own yeast. And anyway, I think I've succeeded this time. So I think I'm going to go try to make bread today. Yeah, so I'll let you know how that turns out. So I've decided to just do these like once a month. I'm just one person, so I don't think I can come up with enough stuff to talk about. I don't know. I can't imagine. My knitting has slowed down. I'm trying to get some other things done. I got a t-shirt quilt I need to work on and stuff like that. So I'm trying to get some other things done too. But first, I want to talk about my granddaughter's breast milk soap. She has given me the sweetest little Charlotte. She is now almost 6 months old, and she's adorable. Anyway, she recently, within the last week or so, had to put her on formula because she wasn't gaining any weight. So, anyway, somewhere along the line, she's tried some breast milk soap, and she loves doing it. She loves doing it. We come from a long line of crafty people. Anyway, so I think she'll be 22 this year. I'm not sure. But anyway, so I'm like, well, you better stockpile on that stuff. So she's still pumping, so she can freeze it and then make some more. She hopes someday that maybe she could sell some of this stuff. But anyway, she just gave this to me the other day, so I have not tried it yet. And one of my daughters has tried it, and the men even have tried it and love it. So I think I'm gonna like it. And I have super dry skin, so hopefully I'll be fine. Another thing, I'm not going to talk about any more knits because I'm almost out of time, but I wanted to talk about my travel journal. I wanted to make a smash book, like take an old book and make it into like a scrapbook, but I didn't have the heart to run a book. So anyway, but I wanted a travel journal, and so I found this on Amazon, and I'm certainly going to, turn it into a journal. And it's small enough, it's like 5 by 7, so it's small enough I can stick it down in my backpack, pull it out when I need to. But I'm not that creative. I did buy some scrapbook paper, and it had some stickers in it, so I'm kind of, doing that. And I started by, okay, here's our itinerary. That's not very creative. It looks terrible. It's not fun. But anyway, so I hand printed all the days, the itineraries for 10 days. And some of the pages I'm going to fold up like that and make pockets out of it and just keep stuff. Like junk. I had suggested to me, save your trash. She showed me one that she was working on, and my granddaughter. And she said, I saved like a coffee sleeve from a nice coffee shop she loved. And so she would just add that to her scrapbook and just turned it into, even if she wrote on it or wrote over it or what, she would paste it to the page and then write. Of course, you always like things that other people have made, and you don't think what you have made is that great. So that's how I am. But anyway, there's my travel journal. If anybody has any ideas, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not that creative. I'm not a scrapbooker. I'm a knitter. Okay, I do have a few minutes left, so I'm going to talk about my folded poncho. This was just, I ripped this out. It was another project, and I ripped it out. I didn't love it. So I ripped it out because I love the yarn. Super soft. It's baby alpaca. And I ripped it out and just started knitting with it. And when you rip out something, it looks like ramen noodles. Well, and so when I knit with it, it looks real. If you look at it long enough, you'll see those loose spots. So if I ever do that again, I guess I'll have to hank it and wash it before I use it, especially something like this where the yarn is. I suppose I could rip this out and do it all over again, but I probably won't. I've worn this a lot since I made it, and it fits over your head. And I wear this a lot in the mornings too. It looks good going to the store or to a restaurant or whatever. This is my second one. The first one I made has a cowl neck, which I love because then it covers up my cowl neck. But yeah, it's super, super soft and warm. And the thing about natural fibers is I haven't tested out polyester or acrylic yarn. Maybe they do the same things, but I was in a restaurant. I had on, not this one, but my cowl neck one, that it was around Christmas time, I think, that I wore it. And we were at a restaurant and I ordered a drink and it came to the table, and just as because I was talking, and then as it came, then I turned around and I hit the waitress as she's putting the drink on the table. Anyway, some of the drink ended up on me and it just repelled. It just ran down and just repelled. I didn't get wet. And really, I took a napkin and went like this. It was dry. It wasn't wet. Nor was it sticky because it was a Cosmos. But anyway, supposedly it was sugar-free. But anyway. So it's called the Easy Folded Poncho. And I used, let me turn around because it's just right over there. It's called Wool and the Gang. That's the, I don't know if you can see it. No, you can't see it. It's on my spindle thing. Anyway, it comes in little balls. And I would order again, and it didn't cost me an arm and a leg. Of course, I can't remember how balls. I think I bought 4 or 5 balls of this. But anyway, it looks pretty sloppy, but we're going to call this art. We're just going to call it art. Okay, real quick. I've gone over my 30 minutes. I'm going to show my muscle burl hat. I was saving this yarn for a special project. Never found a special project, so I decided a muscle burl hat. And is it muscle burl or muscle burlberg? Is it muscleburg? So like Edinburgh? Depends on who you are. Anyway, it's knit in one piece. It's double, so you can double it. And it's great for a trip or whatever because you're just straight knitting it forever and ever and ever. So, yeah, I really enjoyed this one. Kind of a no fuss hat, but it's super. You can put it up in a brim if you want, or just, it's a lovely hat. I like it. It's super warm. Super warm. Okay, that's it. I did it. Like I said, these are not perfect. I'm just being myself. I'm not I don't know, like I said before, I'm doing tutorials, and I don't know why I'm doing a podcast, but I'm doing tutorials for my kids, my granddaughters, and maybe future granddaughters, future great-granddaughters, who want to learn to knit or just need to know how to do something. And I just remembered something I forgot to show. I'll show it next time. I'm doing a Copenhagen blanket or throw with my granddaughter, and I finished another square, so I got 3 squares made. And she knows how to knit, but she's struggling with, though I think she's doing real well, with stranded knitting, so I might be doing some tutorials on stranded knitting. And not that I'm an expert, or it's just my version or one way. I like to say there's no right or wrong way to do it. It's whatever works for you. It's whether you're knitting for need or comfort, or just because you need a hobby to keep your hands busy. the important thing is that you enjoy it and not to be perfect. You know, don't let that cripple you. And I say that because I worked with a gal who was crippled with fear that she was going to do something wrong, and she went as far as she wouldn't even sit and knit in a group because she didn't want anybody judging her. Like, I'm sorry. I mean, but some people, OCD, I don't know what you call that, but it's sad. It's sad that you can't just enjoy the journey. So that said, I'll see you next time, and thanks for coming back. And be sure and like or comment or certainly subscribe. I didn't think I would care if anybody did or not, but apparently I do care. And share it if you like. All right, we'll see you later. Bye.